Welcome back to English Story 5 Days, where we explore powerful books in a simple and practical way.
This is Emma.
And this is Leo,
Today, we're starting a fresh episode with a very different kind of book,
a book that is not about getting rich fast.
but about understanding how people really think about money.
Today's book is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel.
This book explains why smart people sometimes make bad money decisions.
And why behavior matters more than intelligence.
We'll talk about money, emotions, fear, patience, and choices,
Not in a complicated way.
but in a way that connects with real life.
So stay with us.
Because this episode may change how you see money forever.
We study this book because money decisions are mostly emotional, not logical.
The psychology of money helps us understand why people with high income still struggle financially.
This book shows that behavior matters more than intelligence when it comes to money.
Many people know what to do with money, but they don't do it.
We study this book to understand fear, greed, and patience.
These emotions silently control financial choices,
The book explains why everyone's money story is different.
and why comparing ourselves to others is dangerous.
We study this book to learn long-term thinking.
Because short-term thinking creates long-term problems,
The psychology of money teaches the power of patience.
and why time is the most powerful factor in wealth.
This book helps us understand risk and uncertainty.
Life is unpredictable, and money planning must accept that.
We study this book to learn why saving is more important than showing off wealth.
Because real wealth is what you don't see,
The book helps us build a healthier relationship with money.
not based on stress or comparison.
That is why this book is important.
It teaches us how to think, not what to buy.
Here's something shocking about money that most people never realize.
Being smart does not guarantee financial success,
Many highly intelligent people lose money.
while average people quietly build wealth.
That feels uncomfortable to hear.
Because we believe money is about knowledge.
This book shocks us by saying money is about behavior.
How you act matters more than what you know.
Another shocking truth is that luck plays a bigger role than we admit,
Success is not always earned.
and failure is not always deserved.
That idea challenges our ego.
The book also shocks us by saying rich does not mean wealthy.
Rich is income,
Wealth is freedom.
and freedom is invisible.
Many people look rich but are financially fragile.
One problem away from collapse.
The book shocks us by showing how comparison destroys happiness.
Seeing others win makes us take stupid risks.
Another shocking idea is that saving money is more powerful than earning more.
That sounds backward.
But the book proves it.
The biggest shock is this.
Money success has more to do with psychology than math.
And psychology is messy.
That's why most people get money wrong. This book emotionally explains that money decisions are deeply connected to personal experiences, memories, fears, and lessons learned during childhood.
Morgan Housel shows that people do not make money choices using spreadsheets, but through emotions shaped by life events.
Many readers emotionally connect because they realize their money habits were inherited from family behavior, not financial education.
The book explains how past trauma with money creates fear-driven decisions, even when logic says otherwise.
Emotionally, this book removes shame by showing everyone makes imperfect money choices under uncertainty.
It teaches that mistakes with money are normal, especially when emotions like fear and greed take control.
The book highlights how financial anxiety grows when people compare their progress with others.
Comparison emotionally damages patience and pushes people into risky decisions they would normally avoid.
The psychology of money helps readers accept that different people play different financial games.
That realization emotionally frees people from unrealistic expectations and unnecessary self-judgment.
The book emotionally explains why loss feels stronger than gain in the human mind.
Losing money hurts more emotionally than gaining the same amount feels good.
This emotional imbalance causes people to panic during market drops.
Panic often leads to decisions that damage long-term financial stability.
The book gently teaches emotional control as a financial skill.
Emotional control helps people stay calm during uncertainty and avoid destructive financial reactions.
Readers emotionally realize that patience is not natural, but it can be learned.
Patience allows compounding to work quietly over long periods.
The book shows how emotions push people to chase fast success.
Chasing fast success emotionally increases stress and reduces long-term happiness.
Emotionally, the book reminds us that enough is a powerful concept.
Knowing what is enough protects people from endless dissatisfaction.
The psychology of money teaches happiness comes from financial control, not financial excess.
Control reduces anxiety and increases peace.
The book emotionally explains why people overspend to impress others.
That behavior often hides insecurity and fear of judgment.
Emotionally, readers learn that invisible wealth is more powerful than visible luxury.
True wealth gives freedom, not attention.
The book emotionally reframes success as peace of mind.
Peace of mind matters more than status.
The psychology of money encourages emotional honesty with personal goals.
Honest goals reduce pressure and confusion.
The book helps readers emotionally forgive themselves for past money mistakes.
Forgiveness allows better future decisions.
Emotionally, the book replaces fear with understanding.
Understanding creates confidence.
The book shows emotions drive financial behavior more than intelligence.
Accepting this truth helps people improve gradually.
Emotionally, readers stop blaming themselves and start improving systems.
Systems reduce emotional decision-making.
The psychology of money teaches emotional maturity around wealth.
Emotional maturity builds long-term financial resilience.
This section reminds us money is not just numbers.
Money is emotion, behavior, and psychology combined.
This book makes readers angry when they realize how often society lies about money and success.
We are taught that hard work guarantees wealth, yet reality proves effort alone is not enough.
The book exposes how people are judged for financial outcomes without understanding luck or timing.
That unfair judgment creates frustration and unnecessary shame.
Many people get angry realizing they followed rules that were never designed for them.
Society praises visible wealth while ignoring hidden debt.
The book criticizes how social pressure forces people into spending they cannot afford.
That pressure quietly destroys financial stability.
Readers feel anger when understanding how comparison steals patience and pushes reckless decisions.
Watching others win makes people abandon long-term plans.
The book shows how financial media fuels fear to keep attention.
Fear-based headlines push emotional reactions, not rational thinking.
It's frustrating realizing markets punish impatience more than ignorance.
Yet nobody teaches patience in schools.
The book makes readers angry at how success stories ignore failure survivors.
Survivorship bias hides reality.
We celebrate winners without seeing countless quiet losers.
That creates unrealistic expectations.
The book exposes how people confuse risk with stupidity.
Taking no risk also carries danger.
Readers feel anger discovering how systems reward bold timing over careful planning.
Timing often beats talent.
The book criticizes how greed is normalized while caution is mocked.
That mindset leads to collapse.
People get angry realizing they were never taught emotional money skills.
Schools teach math, not behavior.
The book challenges the myth that financial success means intelligence.
That myth hurts average people.
Readers feel anger when understanding how debt is socially encouraged.
Consumption is celebrated, saving is boring.
The book exposes how short-term rewards destroy long-term security.
Yet society rewards short-term thinking.
People get angry realizing financial stress is often manufactured.
Advertising feeds insecurity.
The book criticizes hustle culture's obsession with more.
More is never enough.
Readers feel anger realizing peace is rarely valued.
Peace does not sell.
The book confronts the illusion that everyone plays the same money game.
Different starting points create different outcomes.
Anger comes from realizing fairness is rarely part of money.
Acceptance becomes necessary.
This section pushes readers to question money narratives.
Questioning leads to control.
This book gently explains that happiness with money begins by understanding what is truly enough.
Real happiness comes from control over time, not endless accumulation of wealth.
The book teaches that peace of mind matters more than flashy success.
Financial freedom is quietly powerful.
Readers feel relief learning that small, consistent choices build lasting happiness.
Consistency removes anxiety.
The book shows how long-term thinking creates emotional stability.
Stability supports joy.
Happiness grows when money decisions align with personal values.
Values guide behavior better than goals.
The book explains that wealth is what you do not spend.
Saving creates invisible comfort.
Readers feel calm realizing they do not need to impress anyone.
Comparison disappears.
The book encourages patience as a source of peace.
Patience reduces stress.
Happiness increases when expectations become realistic.
Realistic expectations protect confidence.
The book highlights that freedom is the highest dividend of money.
Freedom brings emotional relief.
Readers feel joy learning that progress matters more than perfection.
Progress builds hope.
The book explains how simplicity strengthens happiness.
Simple systems work longer.
Happiness comes from understanding risk without fear.
Knowledge replaces panic.
The book teaches acceptance of uncertainty.
Acceptance creates calm.
Readers feel happiness realizing mistakes are part of growth.
Learning beats regret.
The book promotes humility as a financial strength.
Humility protects peace.
Happiness grows when money serves life, not controls it.
Control changes everything.
The book encourages gratitude for stability.
Gratitude multiplies contentment.
Readers feel relaxed knowing slow progress still counts.
Slow progress lasts.
The book shows that happiness is sustainable when lifestyle remains flexible.
Flexibility reduces pressure.
True happiness comes from sleeping peacefully, not chasing numbers.
Peaceful sleep defines success,
This section reminds readers money should support happiness.
not replace it.
Now it's your turn. Think honestly and answer in the comments.
We really want to hear your real experiences.
What does money mean to you personally? Security, freedom, power, or peace of mind? Have you ever made a money decision based on emotions instead of logic? Do you believe having more money automatically brings happiness? What is one financial mistake that taught you an important life lesson? Do you compare your financial life with others on social media? What does enough money mean in your life right now? Have you ever felt stress because of money expectations? Do you save for peace or spend for pleasure? What habit has helped you feel calmer about money? Do you think patience is more important than intelligence in financial success? Has fear ever stopped you from making a good money decision? What gives you more happiness, buying things or having financial freedom? Do you agree that controlling time is better than earning more money? What is one money belief you learned from your family? If you could change one financial habit today, what would it be?
Write your answers in the comments and read others too.
Your story might help someone else grow. Wow, that was a deep journey through the psychology of money. We hope you learned a lot today.
Absolutely. Remember, it's not about how much money you have, but how you think about it.
Every small habit, every thoughtful decision shapes your financial mindset more than any big earnings suddenly.
So take one step today. Review your spending, saving, or investment habits, even if it's just tiny.
And don't forget, your money story is personal. Comparison is a trap. Focus on your journey.
Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us which idea from today's episode impacted you the most.
If you enjoyed this episode, like, subscribe, and share it with friends who want smarter money habits.
Also, check out our previous episodes on atomic habits and Think and Grow Rich for more life-changing lessons.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Keep learning, growing, and shaping your money mindset.
This is Leo and Emma here. You've been listening to the English Leap podcast.
See you in the next episode where we explore another amazing book. Bye for now.